On today's episode, at this point, I think the mines are actually the antagonist of the game. If we buff the enemies instead of nerfing the guns, do you think they'll notice? Hey, somebody needs to come put these damn gunships back on a leash. So join me on the SES. Not quite there yet. And let's dive on in. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Dive On In. Today we're going to be covering the new huge patch, the new Viper Commandos War Bond, some of the stuff that's been going on Twitter, some of the stuff that's not been going on Discord, and we're just going to check in on those items, starting with the massive patch notes. I'm not going to do a full read on these patch notes. We're just going to hit up some of the highlights, some of the things I thought was interesting, beginning with the visible supply lines and attack origins on the Galactic War map. This is very cool. I don't know what it reminds me of. I swear I've seen something like this in other games where it's got these lines that match up. But to go along with that, they've also made a bunch of changes to the UI, different color palettes, contrast. The chat has like black outlines on it, makes it a lot easier to read. There's just a bunch of visual upgrades, a lot of different coloration changes. Some I like, some I don't like. If you play the game at all since the patch, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But they've made sweeping changes to the UI, especially when it comes to the color palette and some of those visual aspects. They've changed a bunch of stratagems and weapons, and they say they've made some stability improvements, things like that, but they've also introduced a bunch with this patch, so we'll go over that as well. Notable things, they've done some things to the sentries, like making the rocket sentry behave differently. They've buffed the mine damage, things like that. The big thing from the beginning here, these patch notes, is the changes to the orbitals. The Gatling got a huge buff to damage, decrease cooldown, things like that. Precision strike now comes down much faster, twice as fast as a matter of fact, so it's much more usable, has much better cooldown. Orbital airburst strike has a better cooldown. Thing is, these are all affected still by the atmospheric scattering. So they did take out the stratagem effect that reduces your stratagems by one. You'll never get that again. We'll always have our 4 stratagems every time now. But we still have the scattering effect, which affects only orbitals. If you have that, it kind of makes these useless. So it's just a huge push in a random direction. You'll end up killing yourself, even if when you throw it far away from you, it can still come back right on top of you, kill your teammates, things like that. So you don't really want to use it. They've changed the rocket pods a bit, just the way they do damage, the way that it deals with armor. I've tried to use it and see if it felt different. It did not feel any different to me, so I'm not really sure what they've changed. They've changed some of the other things. The Eagle Strafing Run supposedly has better armor penetration, more usage. I don't know. It still seems not that great to me. Different changes to the different machine guns. They all got buffs to destructible damage, fire rate changes, things like that. Bunch of changes to damage for lots of things. Tenderizer got a huge damage buff because it was so bad. They made a change to recoil, whether you're prone or crouched or standing. That's going to affect things differently and have a larger effect. They did change the eruptor. Not used the eruptor since this change. They gave it more than 100 additional damage. It does feel better. You can still kill chargers with it now. It takes a number of shots to do that, but it feels better. It does feel usable now. It does not feel dead anymore. So if you liked the eruptor in the past, use it, try it out. The crossbow can now destroy bug holes. It behaves a lot more like the eruptor. Doesn't do as much damage as the eruptor, but I believe it has that stealth effect people liked about it. They took out the retrieve essential personnel defend mission. That was so crazy. And just tons of mobs coming at you at all times. Super samples come out on difficulty 6 now. And you can use Siege artillery after the mission timer's up. A lot of people saying, oh, that doesn't make much sense. So while other people are arguing, oh, yeah, it does. You can't talk to your ship, so it wouldn't work anyways. But now they've definitively come out and said, yeah, it will work after the timer's gone. They now have invite-only lobbies. We've got, of course, from the War Bond, increased melee damage. Hazards behavior has changed a bit. The acid effect is kind of crazy now. So they have this acid effect from like bile spears or whatever, but it has a very strong visual effect now. So they say they've toned down the number of armored enemies, but doesn't seem like it. It seems like something's up with spawns, that they're bugged again or something like that. So we have the behemoth chargers now, which take quite a bit more to kill unless you're using a flamethrower on them. If you use a flamethrower, it's just as easy as a normal charger, but they take like 2 each shots to the head. They take more railgun shots to the legs and head. They take more arc thrower shots to kill. They did change the hulks to do less damage with the flamethrower, and I do feel that. I'm not feeling instant death. I'm feeling like it's much better, actually. So that's a welcome change. The spear can now target more consistently, but it can no longer target automaton fabricators, which is no big deal. You can throw a grenade or you can use a grenade pistol. No big deal. That's pretty much it for the patch notes. They have introduced a number of bugs, number of crashes, things with prone behavior, things with menu behavior, things with extract crashes, just the same type of crashes we see after patches in the past. It seems like there's just something about patching that reintroduces these. Shams made a comment saying he wants to get rid of that by doing more regression testing, but it's kind of par for the course at this point. And the spawn rates still seem to be broken. They were supposed to revert. They still seem pretty substantial right now. So regarding the new war bond, I have tried a good bit of it out. I have not got my hands firsthand on the throwing knife. They put that on page 3. It takes a bit of time to get down there. But I've tried out some of the different aspects of it. I've tried out the Liberator carbine. I've tried out the new shotgun. And it's not that impressive. There's no end-all be-all item of this. I've seen a lot of gameplay with the throwing knife. And here's kind of what I'll say about these. The carbine is okay against bugs. Recoil is kind of insane to be able to hit the weak points on bots. So not so great against bots. It's okay if you like the carbine against bugs. It's decent. It's an AR. The shotgun, I really thought it would do more. I was hoping you could do something with like charger butts and the triple shot unload. Doesn't seem to be the case. So what I'm finding is the triple shot unload at most takes off a brood commander head, and that's about it. I don't really see the point of it, the use of it. If you talk about, wanting to mess with bots and maybe the ballistic shield, I don't see a use what you're going to do with 3 shots and the ballistic shield. With that, you could pair it with an SMG maybe and have some kind of like variety. If you're running bots, you could run maybe the pummeler and the shotgun and do something over there with that. I don't really see it. I don't see the spot for the shotgun. The throwing knife itself, I'm told from the people using it in the videos that I've seen that it is kind of meant for stealth gameplay, that it doesn't have a noise profile. It will one-shot small and some mediums, depending on how you hit them. You can throw a number of these at certain spots on heavies. Like I think you can do like 4 or 5 on a charger leg and kill it, which that's kind of decent. But on all the other heavies, it takes more than you even carry. You'd have to resupply. Like to kill a Hulk, even hitting the heatsink on the back, it takes more than you even carry. Which you can, with the engineering kit, you can carry up to like 8, I think, and it's 6 by default, I believe. So it's just not what I thought it was going to be with that throwing knife, and I'm very unimpressed with that. So, not to mention they're charging full price for this war bond with less content, and it's less content, guys. It for sure is. We got a couple of skins. We only have 2 armors. We got less weapons. The skins don't make up for it. They really don't. It's the same amount of super credits, and we get a title. And the title, okay, it's words on the screen. How easy is that to do? So it's just not the same amount of content we're getting in past war bonds, and it's not amazing content either. None of these weapons really stand out or do anything amazing. So not very impressed with this war bond myself. We do have a new major order that is bug focused. We had 6 days, almost 7 days to work on it. It's 5 planets. We're going to liberate all 5 planets, and it comes with a new mission type. It's not really new. It's just like the bug hole missions, the Meridia black hole, dark hole missions. It's very similar to that, except instead of a drill and instead of backpacks, it's just one emplacement to drill a nuke in, like kind of like Armageddon or something, that movie Armageddon, where we drill a nuke in and blow up a spot. We do that 3 different places, and we have these waves of enemies that spawn and come at it at the same time. I've played it a few times on Helldiver 9. It's pretty fun, to be honest. And we've got a lot of side objectives, normal side objectives, like Shrieker Nests and things like that to deal with at the same time. And I actually was able to solo the side on my own with just a flamethrower. The flamethrower is very good at dealing with those huge waves of enemies that swarm on an objective instead of on you. So you can kind of stand a little way from the objective and just sweep it and clear huge amounts of enemies on your own. And I was able to solo a site on my own. And my team comes, it blows up, it says mission complete. The 3 other guys from my team come over and they're like, what the hell, man? I was like, yeah, I soloed it with a flamethrower, dude. So it's a pretty fun mission, to be honest. And yeah, get on it. Get that major order done. Let's see what happens. Now, this next one is absolutely insane. Look at this. These roaming gunships, and they will roam in packs up to 5. So both, and it's like a kind of bugged right now, but it's a mission modifier or stratagem modifier, and you won't see it. So it'll say there's like 2 or 3 effects, and you'll only see 2, and that's how you know this is a modifier on the map. But it's roaming shriekers and roaming gunships, and they will spawn and just go anywhere on the map. Now the shriekers, no big deal. I mean, you can sweep a breaker or blitzer in the sky, and they're gone. They're dealt with. But the gunships are absolutely horrifying. They haul across that sky, and they see you from a long way away, and they will come at you. So you got to deal with those guys quick. You got to have the method to deal with them, and they are just absolutely terrifying. And it's just another way this patch between the behemoth chargers and the changes to biospears now do acid effect, and now these roaming gunships and shriekers. They've just buffed the enemies. So we got a few buffs on our guns. They've also buffed the hell out of the enemies as well. So it kind of balances out, and the power balance didn't seem to have changed much because of that. So the effect of our last MO, choosing between saving the kids or doing the factory for the anti-tank mines, everybody chose to do the kids. I think mostly because we thought, oh, if we go with the altruistic method, maybe there's some secret reward that'd be better than mines, because ain't nobody want them mines, man. Nobody wants no anti-tank mines. So we did the saving the kids from the hospital. For some reason, it's still counted as failing the major order if you read the text when you got that notification. But the reward for that was Johan went out and did a donation to the Save the Children Foundation for $4,311. And if you know what that looks like on a calculator, that basically spells out hell, which is very in character. So a lot of people were complaining on Twitter, oh, that's not enough, $4,300, what's that? It's like, what? That is plenty. Who knows what Johan's contract like is with Sony? Nobody knows how much he actually has. He's not Steve Jobs or something. That is a great gesture. So for people to criticize that is absolutely off the wall. But you will find, if you go check out this post on Twitter, there are a bunch of people, one way or the other, saying, oh, that's not enough, and a lot of people defending him and things like that. But it was a little silly. It was a good gesture. So the next thing I want to talk about is, normally at this point in the episode, I will go on to Discord and I will find valuable posts from the community managers between them and the Discord users. And usually it's kind of, I can scrub a Q&A off of there, but they have been very silent recently. It seems like there's been some drama on the Discord, some like culture warish drama with it being Pride Month. And there was some stuff going on between the moderators, who are not Arrowhead employees, but they were put in place and approved to moderate by Arrowhead employees. And just a lot of back and forth. You might have seen some of it on Twitter. I don't want to go and hunt that stuff down, but it's just nasty culture war stuff. And it seems like, as a kind of a repercussion to that, the actual community managers have been pretty quiet and not interacting very much for some reason. Baskinator has been on there, but she really doesn't say much in regards to the game. She does interact with the community in more of a meme-y, food post, just, hey, how's it going? Cordial, casual kind of way. No real meat as far as what's going on with the game. Twin Beer is typically who I get that type of stuff with, and Johan will be on there occasionally. He's not been on there quite a while. Shams has been on there recently, but his game knowledge is just not there yet. He's doing a lot of business stuff. He has not had too much time to play. He's trying to get in rounds right now, trying to understand the game more, but he's just not bringing anything of value to the game discussion at the moment, just because he's not there yet as far as game knowledge is concerned. But he's definitely trying. I've got to give him credit for trying. He did say he expects to see more Arrowhead staff in the Discord soon, so there must be a reason why they're not in there. Like I said, there's been some drama on there that maybe that's why they're kind of sitting it out, waiting for it to pass. But I just don't have that section for you this week. That's a shame, but there's just nothing really of value to pull off Discord. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. I plan to have some more videos this week. I don't know about on Helldivers, but I need to edit some videos on Elden Ring, on Pacific Drive, some of the other stuff I've been playing. I'm going to stream some Elden Ring later this week. We need to get ready for the DLC. I'm basically bum rushing the DLC, so I got to get Mug and Radon down. I've got my whip build going. I got one of my signature whips for that build. It's going very well. So with that, I'll see you next time.